All right, guys, in today's video, we're working on a 2022 Audi SQ5. I'm going to hit the start button here to show you what we're after. We've got this inspection due message on the dash, and I'm going to show you what that's about here. So I've got a paper printed out from the Audi website for this particular vehicle, and what this is about for this vehicle is the 40,000 mile maintenance. So this message pops up based on mileage intervals. For this mileage interval, there's three things they want you to go to the dealer on. They want you to go get the dust and pollen filter replaced. That's the same as saying a cabin air filter. They want you to get the sunroof drainage system inspected, and they want you to replace the spark plugs. In this video, we're going to be tackling the replacement of the cabin air filter. Now, if we go back up here and I bring that message back, this message here can't be cleared by you like the oil filter change or oil and filter change reminder. This one has to be cleared by going to the dealer, or you're going to need a scan tool. So I'm going to show you the scan tool that I'm going to use to clear that message, but let's go ahead and get going on changing the filter. All right, so to locate the cabin air filter, you're going to come on the passenger side, right? You got the glove box here. It's going to be underneath the glove box. You want to take the seat, get it all the way back, so that you got plenty of room. I got a flashlight down here, and what you're going to hunt for are two little release pins. They're little black round release pins. So let me locate the first one over here towards the center console. There's one. And then we're going to come over towards the outside body of the vehicle, and there's two right there. All right. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to reach down here with my hand. If I can get situated enough. And I'm just going to grab on to that little pin, just like that. I'm going to pull the first one out, and I'm going to reach over and feel my hand here and locate the second one. Just pull it out with your hand. There's the second one. Now with that out, there's like a soft plastic, almost like foam, that's covering the access to the filter. Now this particular owner's vehicle, he's got like a dash cam or something, so that's why you see this wiring here. So if you have something like that, just be careful as you pull this down. But with those little pins removed, this little piece of foam just drops out, right? And they were attaching here and here. So now we're going to have to position the camera a little bit so you can see underneath, but I'll show you the cover for the cabin air filter after we reposition the camera. All right, so hopefully this is a good view for you all. So this kind of white banana-shaped piece is the cover for the cabin air filter. There's a couple of clips here that we're just going to do. There's this one here. And if I can see over here, there's this one in the back. And then this cover just comes off. There's like a little piece right on the edge here that it's stuck on. There we go. All right, so let me get this by the camera. There's clip here, clip here, clip here. And with that out of the way, the filter is just going to come out just like this. Now, if it's really dirty, you might want to have some paper or plastic on the bottom here, but we're just going to wiggle this out, and then we'll switch our camera view and pick it up with a different camera view. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and pull it the rest of the way out. All right, so not too bad. You can see the material that's impregnated in there. We're just making sure that this was an original filter, and it is, and we're taking account for what orientation it was in. So we pulled it out just like this. And the reason that's important is, I don't know if you can make this out, but there's a little arrow here. There's an arrow up, air flow, and an arrow up. So that's pointing in this direction. So when we put the new one in, we're going to want to put it in the same direction, presuming that it was installed correctly, like this one. All right, and I'm just going to reach over here and show you what we're going to replace it with. So we're going to replace this with a Volkswagen Group part 4MO 819-439C. That's going to give us an equivalent replacement of this filter. I'll put a link for this particular OEM part down in the video description. This one being all new, we can definitely make out the Volkswagen Automotive Group part number. We can see that the OEM that supplied it to Volkswagen was MAL. We can see it was made in Germany, and we can see this airflow direction. So putting it in like this so that the arrows are in the same direction as the one we removed. So let me get set up again so you guys can get a better view. We'll pop this guy in and we'll put this cover back on. First, I'm going to clean some of this debris that we see in this cover up. Then after we get it done, we can vacuum up down here. All right, before we plug that in, just to show you what's straight out of the Audi service manual for this procedure, we took out those two clips here and here that they show in purple. And that allowed us to remove that foam cover that they're showing in blue. Once you did that, we saw this white plastic, hard plastic cover that they're showing in green here. And what they're telling us is that we just loosen the catches, which are at the points indicated by A. I showed you those three catches here, here, here. And then they're telling you to remove the filter. And then installing it, clean it out, which is both the cover as well as any other debris that might be around here. And then when we insert this, make sure you get it on the correct side where the arrow that's printed on the filter is pointing to the air blower. And so what they're trying to show you is item D is the arrow that's printed on the actual filter. So as we look at the bend, this is a view from, you have to remember this view is like upside down, right? So you're looking up rather than down. And then we're going to show that arrow just like I showed you when it was taken out. Then they tell you if those catches do not hold correctly, you can also secure it with a bolt. And they show this optional piece here, right? So if for some reason these clips get busted on A, they have the ability to insert a bolt at the end. And they mentioned that that's a way you can work around that. All right, let's get back under, get the camera situated, and reinstall the filter. All right, guys, we're going to come in with the new filter. Make sure you get a little bit of a bend to it. All right. And then again, hopefully you guys can make this out. The arrows are pointing towards this cable. Another way you can think about it, these arrows are pointing towards the courtesy light that's right by my finger here. Got too much glare from the flashlight. The courtesy light that's right here, just out of view. See if I can push this up just a little bit, right? So that courtesy light right there, these arrows are pointing towards it, right? So we're just going to get the filter fully seated. And then we're going to bring that cover back in. Get these clips to snap back on. Just trying to not get the insulation back here caught up on the clip. And we're done. Now let me back the camera back out. We'll get that foam piece back in, push in those two push pins, and the job is over. All right, guys. So we've got this pin pushed back in on this side, and then you can see right near the top here, get the camera right over there, we go. You can see there's like a little plastic piece that this sits in, and it sits in on this side, and it sits in on this side, and it sits in on this one as well, and it sits in on this last one all the way over to the edge. And then our last pin is right back there. So we've got everything put back the way we had it. All right, guys, let's reset this inspection due indicator on the cluster. This spark plug job we did took way longer than I thought, so I had to give the car back to the owner, and he's brought it back at a later date for us to do this. I want to show you how this contrasts with the oil change interval. So if we come over to the MMI and make sure we're on the home screen here, vehicle, and there's 2 pages to this, but we're after settings and service intervals, and we've got 2 things here, the oil change interval and this inspection interval. And we only want to clear this one. We want to leave this one alone because it's not time yet for this one to be done. The reset on the MMI is only going to clear the oil change anyway. So we're going to leave this alone, and we're going to do this with a scan tool. Now you can use the VW ODIS tool, but what I'm going to be using is a tool called VCDS. And I'm just running it here on my Windows Panasonic ToughPad. It's got a vehicle control interface that plugs into the diagnostic link connector under the dash, or the OBD2 port, if you will, where it's going to get its power and be able to communicate with the module. So I'm going to go plug that in. We're going to come back, and I'll show you how to reset this. All right, so I've got this ToughPad sitting here on the footwell, and hopefully it'll be out of the glare for you guys to see. So normally on VCDS, you could just go into this feature called SRI Reset, and it would do a little dance here with the instrument cluster talking to it. And once it finishes communication, it's going to give us a view of everything it interrogated. So you can see there's all these different what are called adaptation channels and descriptions and values, mileage and days, different things that are being tracked. And on top, for reset options, we either have a reset ESI/oil for North America or a reset fix in ESI/inspection for North America. If I pick the first one, the only thing it does is set a 0 to this first channel, 12,960. If I go down through here on the scroll bar, nothing else is changed. If I pick the second one, then it adds these 2 adaptation channels, 12,980 and 12,981, which are distance driven and time since the last inspection. So these are the 2 we definitely want to get reset to get rid of that second warning on the cluster. However, I'm concerned that it's also resetting this first one for the oil service. And since the owner doesn't want that touched, I'm inclined to do this manually. It's possible that that wouldn't hurt anything, but just to be safe, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it manually. So I'm going to select the control module manually. It's going to build up the list of modules. I'm going to pick 17, which is the instrument cluster. It's going to do a little communicating, and then when these buttons down here become active, I'm going to pick adaptation. And now from here, I'm going to select those 2 channels that we saw, 12,980 and 12,981, manually. All right, so there's 1280 and 12,980 and 12,981. Let's see if I can grab, well, I got 12,981. We'll go with that guy first. We're going to set him to 0. So it was previously 738 days. And now when I say to do this, it's going to change it to 0 days. And again, this is 12,981. So I'm going to hit the Do It button. It's going to ask me, are you sure that you want to change it from 738 to 0? I'm going to say yes. It accepted the request. It's going to reread the channel, and now it's set to 0. So now I'm going to select the other one. If I can grab it, this ToughPad is got a real small touch interface. There we go, 12,980. And now on this one, same thing. I want to reset it from 37,300 to 0. Okay, so from 37,300 kilometers to 0 kilometers. And 12,980. Do it. You sure? Yes. Accepted the request. Okay. Now we should be done. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to go all the way back, all the way back. I'm going to go back into the SRI reset feature, let it recommunicate with the cluster. And now, when I scroll down and look at those two values, zero kilometers and 0 days. So we've reset that. So now, what we should be able to do, if we pull the camera back a little bit and zoom back out, if I turn the key off and I turn the key back on, so I do not have...
we're getting full brightness.
I do not have the... do not have the warning on the dash, excuse me. And if I come over to the MMI, and I'm going to go back, I'm going to go back into this again. Yes, so my next inspection is in 20,000 miles, but my oil change interval has been left alone. So we did exactly what we wanted. We reset this and we left that alone. So that's how I chose to do this with VCDS. You might choose to do it with a different scan tool. Just understand a lot of them will reset both of these at the same time. In this particular example, we wanted to leave the first one alone and only reset the second one. So that concludes this video. I hope this maintenance video for Audi SQ5s helps you out. If you got questions or comments, go ahead and leave it below and I'll try to help. If this did save you some time and money, I'd appreciate you paying it forward by hitting that like button. And as always, thanks for watching.